Okay, welcome back, family. So, I'm going to say this straight away. I suspect that somebody is trying to silence my voice. So, if you watched my last video, you will know that I lost 35 minutes of audio on a video. So, that's what we're going to be talking about today. What that situation is about, what happened, and who I suspect the culprits are. Before we get into that, though, two things I want to do. I want to say to everybody that has emailed me, whether that's a question, wanting to like offer me something, or just sharing your opinion, I see you, I see the email, is not ignored. I'm just processing and taking my time, meditating on every single email before I respond. That's me. That's kind of where I'm at now. Because obviously, if you've listened to my story, you will know that people and things are on my back. So I've got to move tactfully. Second thing, before I move on to that, yeah, I just want to say I received an email, yeah, from a young 19-year-old boy. Let's say a boy, he's a young guy, he's a man. And that that had an impact on me because I was like, rah, like the 19-year-old guy, like listening to me, first of all, enough to send me an email. I was like, yes, God, you're doing your job. You're doing your job. I put in my request and you're showing me that you're hearing me. So, to you, young brother, I could tell obviously from the email you sent me, you even made a comment that, you know what, I've just started your videos. I'm going to go and finish it. And I did giggle because I thought by the time you finish watching all my videos to date, you would have every answer that the questions you asked me in your email. I'm sure by now, if you finish my video, you've worked it out, but I will still respond to you regardless. So I just wanted to say that. Second thing is, yeah, um, I realized in 10 ways I ruined my life, I talk about, a lot of dodgy relationships that I got into and what happened, etc. But I haven't rounded up on them. I haven't really explained kind of what happened after and how I got out of them, if I'm out of them, and what my dealings are with some of these gentlemen till today. So I'm going to quickly go through that and then boom, we move on. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first gentleman that I talk about in episode 1. He's the guy that I lost my virginity to at the age of 13. Um, and he was 16. So with him, obviously, like I told you guys, I heard how he had a girlfriend for about 2 years and he had a baby mother. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, I've got to check out of this. Like, this is, you get me? This is a no-go zone. Checked out, tried to move on with my life, etc., whatever. And then during a mad time in my life where I was suffering from a miscarriage, I went to the hospital either before the miscarriage or in the middle when I maybe had a little issue going on. I can't remember what it was, but I remember being at the hospital for that reason, yeah. And I went through these double doors, and look who's standing in front of me. My man that I lost my virginity to, he's standing there, he's working at the hospital at this point. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and I just looked at him and thought, you know what? All this started with you. All this started with you. And one thing that's annoying about him, where in general it's good, but it's still annoying, he always smiles. He's always got a smile on his face. So at this time, I'm this short and I'm thinking, oh my God, my life, to see him. And then he just got his big smile. I'm just like, yo, he's the kind of guy, if I told him what I was there for and what I was going through, he'll still have a smile on his face and be like, it's all right, you get me, it's cool. And I just thought, you prick, like you are the root cause of. I shouldn't blame him. Obviously, you get me. I had a role to play, but that's I believe that I wouldn't say that's the last time I saw him, but that was like the last proper and full-fledged encounter. After that, I used to just see him around the end, small, but I haven't seen him in years, ain't spoken to him in years, so that's him. Moving on now to the gentleman that um, I fell pregnant with for the first time and ended up suffering from a miscarriage. I believe he's in part 2. Accident Pregnancy, if you haven't watched it. So yeah, check that out. Obviously, I told you guys how he tried to call me one time and I didn't respond well, and I put the phone down and him, and kind of that was that. The time came where I believe I was at uni this time, yeah, chilling in my room, doing my thing. Then I get a message. Can't remember who sent it to me, and they were like, "Yo, watch this." So I was like, "Okay." Flick it open now, and there's a video of him basically getting battered by someone that I know, but I will not disclose in this video. So for me, obviously mixed emotions. At first, I'm shocked at what I'm seeing because it was bad. Like he was bloody. He was like, "Yo, allow me," like, and it was on the train. It was in public. So I'm watching this video. I'm just like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "What am I watching? Why am I watching it?" Because I didn't know what the situation was. I didn't know what trouble he had got himself into. Then I was like, you know what? I suffered at the hands of this guy. So I was a bit like, yeah, come on, like, finally some vindication. You get me? Someone's dealing with this guy. But then at the same time, a part of me was like, yo, like, this is the guy that you shared your lost baby with, your baby that you still care for, you understand? So it was quite conflicting. And I remember I wasn't even able to watch the full video. I just was like, blocked that off. I was like, yo. So that was deep. And like I said, the person that was brutalizing him in the video, I know him personally, but I've never spoken to him about it. I know the day will come where I will get the chance to chat to him about it, but I mean, I could have, but I never even went to him. When I could have gone to him and asked him, I still can, but it's sort of like, I'll rather wait, you get me? I don't want to go and find out what it is. But having said all that, years after that again, maybe another 5 years after that, I'm chilling with another veteran from the ends who knows of him. I mean, knows of the guy that I fell pregnant with. And he's like, yo, you know my man's in jail. I'm like, is he? I didn't know. He's like, yeah, he's doing 13 years. I'm like, 13 years? He's like, yeah, he's doing 13 years, mate. Oh, I was just like, you know what? I was shocked, but I wasn't surprised. I was shocked that it had finally happened to him, but I wasn't surprised because he was basically like a madman and he was a bit edgy. And like I said, I've just seen a video of him going through that. So obviously, he done something naughty for someone to feel like, when I catch you, I'm going to do this to you. That means he's been doing naughty things. So I wasn't surprised, but I was just shocked that, like I said, finally happened and he got such a long bird like that. And it just had me sitting. I thought, imagine, you know, you gave birth, you and him would have been sharing a ute. Like, how would you have managed this situation? Would you have been taking the ute up to go and visit him for what, 13 years? Or what, even if he does half, like, that's still a good old, you get me, 5, 7 years or so. And it just had me, because I say the reason why it had me like rocking a bit, yeah. I told you guys how I was a bit obsessed with him and I used to send him poems every night and all these things. But one time, yeah, I went to church, midweek service, and there was one lady at the time who used to come to my dad's church. And out of the blue, she's like, yo, come and chat to you. I go to her. She goes, you need to stop dating. You need to stop, mixing with that guy. I'm like, okay, because I've never spoken to her about that guy. Obviously, she knows I'm pregnant because everyone in the church knows. But I've never had no one-to-one come with her. She don't even know whether I'm still chatting to him or not. Like, you get me? But she was them type of people. I know church is a spiritual place, but she was a little bit more spiritual, if you get what I mean. She was a bit of like a seer, prophesying, all them type of stuff. So she said, yo, stop seeing that guy. And it's weird because the moment she said it, I knew it, I heard it, and I took it in. From writing poems every night, being like all over him, wanting to try and hold on to the loss of the baby, all those things. The moment she spoke to me and I heard that, it just went into my head, went into my heart. Once again, it just broke these chains off me. That night I got home And I sent him a message as if not all them things before, as if they didn't exist. I just sent him a message, said, yo, you get me? We're gonna have to wrap it up. Like, can't do this no more. Can't nothing, just nothing. I wasn't expecting his response though. He was like trying to move like he was hurt. He was like, rah, you're just gonna like lock it off with me then. I think it was after the time he just got blamed. So he was a bit like, rah, you get me? I just this has just happened to me. And I remember that night I didn't know, but he had gone out and he had been drinking. But obviously after he got blamed, he was on antibiotics, and you're not supposed to mix the antibiotics with alcohol. So I think that night that I texted him, he went through an ordeal, that he was mashed up, he was in a bad place. And then boom, he's getting this text. So I'm like, yeah, can't do this no more. I'm out. And that's basically how like I checked out of him. Obviously after checking out, and so sorry, that's the point. So when I heard, yeah, my man's doing a bird and whatever, obviously it just made me think, like, it just reminded me of the woman. I was like, thank God I listened to her. Imagine if I stayed chained to this guy. Yeah, we lost our first baby, but if I stayed chained to him, who knows, could have ended up pregnant again. Boom. This would have been my situation. This would have been my story. So when they say take heed, sometimes you do have to follow your intuition. Sometimes it won't make sense. Because at the time, that it would have sounded like the best thing to do, innit? Try and maintain your relationship, all these things. But I knew, nah, gotta let this go. So as far as I'm concerned, he's still in jail as we talk now. Whether that's the case, whether he's out now, I don't know. But even if he's doing half time, he should still be in and maybe coming out in a couple of years' time, if that. Okay, moving on now. So we're moving on to the gentleman that started warming me up slowly into, um I don't want to just say spirituality, because everything's basically spiritual. And I don't want to say new age spirituality, because it wasn't necessarily that, but you guys know what I mean. And it basically not Christianity and just kind of the other stuff. So he's the guy that I attempted to sleep on the street in order to visit him in prison. Yeah, the prisoner. That's part 5. If you ain't watched that story, go and watch that story. The things I did for the prisoner that I fell in love with, something like that. So with him, yeah, how things wrapped up with him. A time came where, I don't know, I think in and out of prisons, I visited him in maybe about 3, 4 prisons. So we were still doing our thing for a while after that. To be honest, I can't even remember how we really lost contact. I can't remember, but we did. So jumping all of those hoops, maybe if something comes to my mind a bit more later, I'll bring it up again, or maybe I'll talk about it in another video. But yeah, I can't really remember much. But what I do remember is I was going through another shaky phase, yeah, and Instagram, social media, social network again started bringing him up in like my suggested friends. So I was like, raw. Like when I first saw it, I was like, raw, my days, like long time, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't send no request for ages. I was like, allow it, leave it. But then, like I said, the more I was in a foggy stage, smoking, all that thing, your mindset is a little bit like, because the thing with smoking is not everyone, but for me, it makes me more blasé. You get me? Like my problems fade away. Nothing's as serious. Nothing's that deep. So you find yourself taking more edgy, dodgy decisions when you're a smoker, because I guess the part of your brain that's a bit more rational is kind of is dimmed down a bit, you understand? Because now you're in hazy land, you understand? Like everything is gonna be all right, you get me? That's the vibes that the weed puts you on. So I'm like, once again, feeling lonely, want some company. I'm like, you know what? Let me send the request, see what happens. Send the request now. Shortly after that, he accepts it. And then obviously it's just like, yo, long time, where you at? Where you at? I'm here, you're there. Okay, cool. Oh, actually, I do remember something. But okay. I'm thinking, do I throw that in here? Maybe I'll save that for another time. But okay, actually, you know what? Forget it, man. Let me just go in. So there was a time where he was in jail, but then one of his bedrooms, yeah, ended up in jail too. But that bedroom ended up in the jail that he was first in the area that I first met him in. So he goes to me, yo, my bedroom's local. Basically, take care of him. You understand that? You took care of me, take care of him. Not in that way, not like sexually, but like, you get me? This is my, them two are like coldies. So he's like, yo, take care of my guy, you get me? Because he's going to be coming out as well. He's in DCAT, so he's coming out and he's working and locally. So sort him out, show him about whatever, help him. I'm like, cool, no problemo. So I linked the bedroom. Bedroom's cool, nice guy, nice gentleman, whatever. We used to link him up, go out to town. He used to come back to my place. Sometimes I'll give him some food if I've cooked a meal, all those things. Obviously, yes, there was slight temptations, but we just used to laugh at it, like, because we were real. Like, he made a joke, like, oh, I forgot what he said, but he said something like, if me and you something, there's going to be lots of tears. I just remember laughing because he's got a baby mother and he's got children with her. Obviously, you know how the baby mother thing can be a bit messy. Then obviously we've got a mutual friend who I used to see who's in jail. So he was just basically saying, like, if me and him ever tried a thing, it would just be a whole hurricane of a nightmare. So I remember that being funny, but there was no dealings like that. But he was a nice guy, fun, cool, calm, collected, everything. So I say that to say, once I've sent the request now, and he's accepted my request, and we're doing the whole yo, well, go on, what's good? He goes to me, let's link up. I'm like, okay, sure. He says, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to the studio today, and my bedroom, which is the bedroom that also came to jail when I was helping him out, he's gonna be in the studio. So you know what? Come studio, let all three of us link up. I'm like, cool. Get there. It was a pleasure to see both of them again out of jail and out of that situation and just free gentlemen. Like, that was nice. That was really nice. It was an emotional moment. I was like, wow. Especially because I hosted both of them. I almost felt like a good mother who, you get me, contributed to the journey that they had both been on. So that was nice. So after that, it was a thing where, okay, he's going to come back to my place. So I'm like, yeah, cool, jump in my car. Let's go back to my place. Get back to my place. Now we're just catching up. We're talking about life. He's like, yo, dot happen, dot happen. And I'm telling him as well, yo, dot happen, dot happen. Then we went to sleep. Nothing sexual went on. Because one thing I'll say about him, yeah, when I saw him again, he had aged a bit, you understand? And he was still involved in that lifestyle. And eventually, after, when you're young, it's all right, you're bouncy, you're doing a thing. But a time comes where it starts chipping away at you, at your soul, and you could see it was starting to show on him. Like, the guy I knew before, he was looking a bit more frail now. Like, you get me? So the attraction wasn't even really there like that. And um, so gone to bed. Wake up in the morning now. Oh no, because I was thinking, yeah, I only had a single bed then because I was in the shared accommodation place. So I was thinking, do we sleep in the same bed? No, I had a blow up bed, a single blow up bed. So I blew that up for him. I said, yeah, you sleep there on the blow up bed. I sleep on the bed. Cool, tomorrow's another day. All right, ciao. We lay down, we go to bed. Mornings come, I wake up. My guy's gone. I'm like, oh my days, here we go again. He's a bit like that. He's a bit sniperish. Like, he's just like like, he cannot be contained. He's just something else. So I'm like, oh God. does this mean? Like, I'm looking around to see, has he left anything, or has everything gone? Like everything that he owns, is it gone? So something said to me, pop your head outside, because knowing him, just go and look around your block and just see. So I think I put my head outside, and either he wasn't there or he was. I can't remember. But what I do remember is he popped up again. And he was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I just went out for a smoke. I was like, okay. You know, them ones, they need their cigarettes. So he was probably up from 5 a.m., 6 a.m. outside. Like, so I was like, okay. But there and then already I knew, okay, I was like, remember who this guy is for who he is. Also, you ain't seen him in years. Like, I always tell people, if you ain't been around, if you knew someone before and you ain't been around them for at least 3 to 5 years, when you meet up with them again, don't go in the same way. Like, have your antennas up, because they're basically a different person. What life can do to you in 3 to 5 years, you'll be shocked. So don't just take them face value. Basically, kind of get to know them again. Read them properly. Don't just have your guard down. Like, oh yeah, I know you from a long time. Me and you are cool. Me and you, no, no. So here we are now. So I'm like, okay, gotta watch this guy, because boom. So that day he goes to me, take me dot dot dot. I wanna grab something quickly. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, that's what, 15 minutes from here, let's go. We get there, park up. He says, all right, I'll be back. I'm gonna go and get this thing. I'm like, all right, go get the thing. I'll wait. I'm waiting. I'm like, this guy's taking a piss now. Like, I'm calling him. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Because he literally made it sound like I'm going to grab something and walk back. But now 30 minutes is gone. So I'm like, yo, this guy's taking a bit. So I called him. I'm like, yo, what's going on? He's like, yeah, I'm coming. Like another 20 minutes went by. I said, nah. So I called him again, like, yo, like, you get me? I had to put it on him a little bit. So he tried to put it back on me. It was like, yo, like, So I was like, okay, cool. Put the phone down. I didn't say nothing. Turned the engine on, bounced. I was like, if he comes, tries to find me in here, I will not be here. So as I'm driving home, I'm pissed at myself. I'm like, you should have known better. You kind of already know what this guy's about. You've gone and kind of let him back in your life. It hasn't even been 24 hours. See how he's moving. So I was just like, oh, this is ridiculous. Go home, whatever. My guy's calling me at like 3 a.m. Yo, I'm so sorry about that. What? Can you come grab me? I'm like, I said to him, no, I can't come and grab you. But then I think he was like, yo, I'm in a little kerfuffle. Can you transfer me something? And then whatever. I can't remember either. I can't remember what it was. But I remember putting down the phone and just thinking, I was just actually more grateful and thankful. I was like, thank you, God. I think I needed this closure. I needed to know, like, what's this truly about? What's this guy on? You get me? Like I said, many years since I had last seen him. So I think probably with him, yeah, no, it was still less than 10 years, but it was definitely over 5. And I needed that because, like I said, sometimes when you get into a grey place, a hazy place, you start thinking of old people. You start thinking, oh, should I hit that one up? Should I go there? Should I do this again and all that? And sometimes you just need to realize that, nah, leave that. Leave that. Like he himself told me, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that experience showed me his one was season. It was for a season, and that season's over. You've got to let that go. Got to move on. And then maybe like I don't know how long after, a couple months after, he kept messaging me. Oh, started this podcast in my bedroom. Like, can you jump on? Like, it would be great to have you as a guest. I didn't even respond. I just thought this guy's actually crazy. Like, he kept messaging me about it. I just kept ignoring it, and ever since then, he ain't messaged me about it again. Choked him. So that's him. Now I want to talk about the guy. I believe it's part 4. He's the gentleman I said I went to Nando's with him, and he put a knife to me and then forced me back to his house. and put socks on my feet. If you ain't watched that video, go and watch that. The title, I believe, is uh what depression led me to do, something like that. So at this time, once again, I'm still engaged in the weed thing, yeah. But with this guy, yeah, his one only recently started to wrap up, and this is what I mean by that. Where he's based, yeah, I don't live there, okay? Like, that's not where I'm based. But I have reasons to go back there. Every now and then, you could say regularly, but every now and then I have reasons to go back to that area. But guys, you know what's happening? It's a big, decent sized area, you know. But I was finding that whenever I go, pew, this guy will pop up. And I used to be like, sometimes it will pop up. He won't see me, I'll see him. Sometimes it'll pop up on me like, yo. And I was like, nah, this is getting funky. It's almost as if the guy knows, like, when you come around, I can come around. It's like, I know when you're around. And like I said, went to his yard, saw a little shrine in the corner. So I won't be surprised that he does a little, all right, she's around, cool, pounce on her, pop up on her. Because he did make a comment to me. He said one time, you know, not, he didn't say something like, you would always be mine, but, you know, something like that, them type of things, like, yeah, you know, we're always gonna, and even if you go, you're always gonna come back. And I remember just giggling it off. But when this kept going on and happening, I'm like, yo, like, something's not right. And I think as well, what was happening was he had sowed the seed into my head. So obviously, first time I'm going, he keeps popping up on me. Now I'm taking it in now. Now I believe it. Now I'm starting to think, right, has this guy got something where, you get me? He knows when I'm around. So now, because I'm thinking it and believing it, that's it. I'm basically manifesting it. It's just happening. So I know it wasn't a good thing because I didn't like seeing him. It was like whenever I see him, it's like almost like he's harassing me. Understand? I was just like, oh. Then I'll go to the back to the ends, and I always have my back up, and I'll be looking over my shoulder. It wasn't a good feeling, you understand? So I'm like, yo, I'm not really up for this. And then one time I went to like a church event, and there was a prophet there. He called me up and he was telling me one or two things. And he made a comment. He said, oh, you know, there's somebody here, there, trying to ting, blah, blah, blah. But God is at your defense. I was like, okay, cool. I can't remember whether this guy who put the knife to me came to my mind when the prophet said that. But obviously, certain things can kind of come to your mind. So a time came where I'm at the train station with baby boy, chilling, waiting. I'm seeing to baby boy attending to him. But then for some reason, I decided, oh, let me turn my head. Turn my head now. Is my man not there? But this time, his back's to me and he's trying to run off without running because he doesn't want to bring attention. So he's at speed walking. The moment I saw that happen, I giggled. I said, yeah, I know. Straight away, what the prophet said to me, I was like, you're one of them. Because yeah, you always pounce on me, so I'm not surprised that you're here now. But usually you be coming, trying to, you get me? Now you're trying to jet off. You don't even want me to see you. And that's because God told him, stay away from this girl. If you set eyes on her, I will burn you. So now when he sees me, instead of running to me, he's running from me. I was like, eh. I just giggled. I just thought, what a prick. Like, look at you. Like, because he was running to the end of the platform so he can jump on the same train, but be like far away on the next carriage. I was like, these guys. Like, the power of God. Yeah. Yo. Okay, talking of the power of God, I'm going to go on to the last gentleman and then I'm going to go to my first point, which will now be my last point. The guy, that I did the ritualistic stuff, yeah. That video is called "He Used Me for Rituals." If you haven't watched it, go watch it. And that guy, how did things wrap up with him? Funny enough, I would not say that things have wrapped up with him. I know, because on our last conversation, he made a comment, and basically what he was trying to say is, "It's not done. I'll be back." Cool. So me and him, we still have a little undercover contention going on. So when the final showdown happens, please believe I'll be coming to share it with you guys. Okay, so it brings me to this point. I'm now going to tell you about the situation where I lost 35 minutes audio. Okay. Last video, I decided to share something which I knew would be edgy, which I knew some people will not appreciate me saying. But I also knew I must say it. Even though part of me didn't even me myself, I was a bit like, let alone what others thought. Even me myself, I was like, but I knew you got to say it. Like I said, all my content is all questionable, let's be honest. All my content is stuff that's like, take it to the grave with you if you can. But no, we want to set ourselves free. I'm nowhere near the grave yet, so I can't wait till that time. I can't live with the burdens. Got to let it go, share my story, especially if it can help others. Why not? So I say all that to say, guys, free yourself up, you get me? No, don't let nobody hold you bound. So, talking of holding you bound, a few years ago, in fact, let me pause this video and make sure that this audio is operating. Okay, we're all good. So, a few years ago, I was chilling on a Sunday afternoon and I get a message from someone I know. And they're like, yo, okay, let me pause there 1 minute. A few years ago, I started developing a lot of anxiety over social media once again, because I had 11,000 subscribers, followers on Instagram, but I wasn't active on my Instagram. I was caught up in a different world. I was on my weed thing, social anxiety. I'm not interested. But at the same time, I had a lot of people, yo, Reva, when you're coming back, yo, Reva, you should do this, yo, Reva, you should do that. So I was really like, you get me? Leave me alone. So I said to myself, look, this thing is affecting you. So it's obvious that you're attached to it. So your best bet is to let it go. Just let it go completely. So I decided I'm going to delete my Instagram account. Just let go of the 11,000 followers. Because right now, I've got like 300 followers. So I let go of something, you understand? Now my account's even private. It's basically only people that I know. I've only now started accepting requests because obviously I'm on YouTube now, so I know you guys are following my page a bit. So you get me? I just let in one or two people, but hey ho, it's got to be protected for now anyway. So I say, okay, cool, delete account, delete. After I delete the account, I say to myself, oh, punch in your name, yeah. I want to see what comes up, or if somebody's used, like, take my name now, it's available, etc. Punch in my name, then I see a picture's come up with a comment. So I'll go and I read the comment, guys. Some long paragraph. Person saying all sorts of things about me. Reva this, Reva that, blah, blah, blah. I do have a screenshot of one of the messages, but I don't think I'll put it up now. Maybe in the near future, if things are appropriate, I will share it with you guys. But for now, I'll hold on to it. All I can say though, guys, the content was graphic, disturbing, disgusting, concerning, and dramatic. Whoever wrote those messages that content and all that, definitely was either suffering from something mentally, acting like they were suffering from something, like writing it in a way they're suffering from something mentally, but in fact they're absolutely fine, or it wasn't even a human being that wrote it. That's how bad the content was. I just have to be honest with you. So a time comes, I'm chilling on a Sunday afternoon. Then I get a message. Yo, Reva, you good? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, of course I'm okay. Well, go on. Boom, they sent me a screenshot. They're like, look, this is a message that someone sent me about you. I thought what I had seen was bad. I was like, whoa. They were like, yeah. Then again, ping. Yo, Reva, you good? Yeah. Somebody's got this message about you. They can't contact you directly because I wasn't on Instagram, and I don't think that girl had my number, even though I knew her, but she didn't have my number and I'm not on Instagram, so she can't contact me directly. So she's gone for a mutual friend and she's told them, look at this message I've received, check up on Reva. So the person's come and said, yo, this person's got this message. Well, go on. I'm like, oh boy. Then again, I get another message. These weren't in the same day. This was like within 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So the person's at work. It's not even like they done a spam on one day. Nah, boop, boop. Another person comes to me. Yo, Reva, I'm getting harassed, lad. There's this person on my Instagram. They keep sending me bare messages about you, long paragraphs, all saying suave things. What's going on? So a point came. I was like, okay, I can't ignore it. So I said to these people, I said, yo, when you get these messages, just ignore it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it's about. Just ignore it. Don't read the messages. Not because I'm bothered about what you would think of me, but the content is too demonic. You do not want to read that, have that in your head and have that sit in your heart. When they send it to you, just swipe and delete. Just swipe and delete. Cool. I don't know if they've received any more messages after that. They have not said anything to me. But what it made me come to like think was that there's probably other people that we got messages as well, but they just didn't come to me. You understand? These were just a few people that decided to come. Maybe the others just thought, yo, what's going on? Swipe and delete. Who knows? So I'm like, okay. The war's on like that. Yeah, the war's on like that. And okay, let me jump back a bit. Everything I'm about to say here on is going to be wild. If you're not, you may not understand or be able to digest some of the things I'm saying, going to say from here on. But I just want to put this caveat in. I was born and raised Christian. I was born and raised spiritual. I've also done spiritualistic things. I've also had my role in rituals, etc. So in my world, spiritual stuff are real. In my world, some things will show up in more of a spiritual format than in some other people's world. You understand? So there's a video I did um, titled My Ritualistic Lifestyle, or What Rituals Did to Me. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. And I talk about a time where I shot a video where I was doing tarot. And when I shot the tarot thing, and in the video, I say how I felt like a vibe in my yard. So ever since then, I never did the tarot again. So when I started getting basically bullied, this cyberbullying, when I started getting cyberbullied on Instagram, that time came to my head because some of the things in the message and the comment that I read here, I'm like, hold on. Unless you've been around me lately, unless I've spoken to you or shared certain things with you, you shouldn't know this. You shouldn't know this. So that got my back up. You know what came to my head? I was like, hold on. That vibe I felt in my yard, has it got something to do with that? Because it wasn't just a vibe, it was a presence. It felt like another person was there with me. I just couldn't see them. I'm just being honest, that's how it felt. So I'm thinking, yo, that presence that I felt, had they been watching me? And now they're using certain things to try and harass me. I'm like, Now, this brings me to another point. My other video where I said he used me for rituals, where I talk about a man who it like got me to do a certain ritual, basically told me it was for one thing, but I'm starting to realize it was for another thing. And what that other thing probably was me giving him rights to my soul, basically, something like that. So that started to come to my mind as well. Okay, let me say this. Another video reference. It's the 7th video of 10 ways I ruined my life, yeah? It's now titled How I Escaped the Dark Sex Trade, yeah? In that video, I talk about my suspicions I have of a guy I was seeing who I think was putting something in my zoo or like something that I was consuming and how it was affecting me. And one of the times that it affected me was when I was leaving his house. I was making my way home, but what was happening was I couldn't tell you how I was getting home. Every now and then I'll just open my eyes and I'll be in a new place. Go again, open my eyes and I'll be further, I'll be closer to home, but in a new place, not knowing how I got there. So, pondering on that, I'm like, hold on. I feel like my spirit and my soul was in use. As in, when I left his house, I said to myself, cool, I'm going to go home. So I've registered the goal and the objective and the target in my subconscious mind. So my subconscious mind is like, we've done this route a number of times. We'll take you. It's just like driving. Sometimes you drive, you're not really thinking turn left, turn right. You've done the route so many times, you can even kind of just zone off and still get to your spot. So that's kind of what happened subconsciously. But every time I would zap out and zap back in, it was almost like when I was out, my spirit and my soul was in use somewhere else. You get where I'm going? So that brings me to this point. There's some people that I suspect could be behind the cyberbullying that I received. Some culprits, we're going to go through the list. First one is an op, an enemy, someone that doesn't like me for whatever reason, or someone, maybe I done something wrong to them, but either way, they're on me. Second one could be the ritualistic guy. Remember, he's told me we're not done. At the end of the day, I've still done the ritual. So what rights or passage he still has to me, pending. Third one could be someone I can never would have thought of. So family, friend, closest person, something like that. The fourth one is the wild one. Could be me. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean, it could have been me. Because guys, some of the content is just like, nah, nobody should or can know this. So I started to think, hold on. Is there like a part of my spirit and my soul, maybe even like the dark side of that, that's formulated these messages and be sending out to people? I know it sounds mad because why would I do that to myself? You understand? And so this is what I mean when I say my spirit being in use. If somebody still has rights of way to my spirit and my soul, they could do that to me. They could use my own spirit, my own soul, my own energy to work against me. I know, mad stuff, but we have to talk about it. Because I know that people go through some mad things, but because they're so mad, they don't say nothing. They're just like, nah, either no one's going to believe me, or they're gonna think that I'm crazy. So let me just leave it, especially if it's died down or it hasn't happened again or it was a one-off. Cool, I'll just leave it. But I said, nah, I'm not going to leave this. I will not be silenced. My voice will not be silenced. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share it because you know what's going to happen? Someone might want credit for it. No, what you're trying to take credit. I done that to you. They'll end up exposing themselves. I'll be like, oh, you done it, yeah? You done it, yeah? If not, others are going to learn from the depth of some of these things that we can get involved in and how it can start showing up in our lives. All right, family. So, yeah, this is part 1+ of why I chose to expose myself, because I realized something is trying to suppress me, don't want me on social media, don't want me coming back, don't want me talking. So I said, you know what? My story and my control, I can share it if I want, can't be used against me. I can learn from it and so can others. Why not? And this is just part of that self acceptance. If you don't accept yourself, you've got too many regrets, all that stuff, that's when you start hiding. But I'm like, nah, man, forget that. I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding. I'm going to make use of everything that I've been through. And that's what birthed really 10 Ways I Ruined My Life. That's what birthed it. So hopefully, well, actually, no, I checked it before. I know the audio's working. So you guys, this story is now out there. If you know anything, put in the comments about anything I've said, any helpful information is all welcomed. It's all welcomed. And then, yeah, man, um, let's keep it moving, man. Let's keep it moving until the next time we meet. Lots of love. Take care of yourself. Ciao for now.